Yes, by now we learned how to balance the equation, and you also know what is physical change, what is a chemical change. Now you also know how to define a chemical change, how to define a chemical reaction, how to define a chemical equation. So by now you know all the definitions, and you have also noted down in your textbooks, right? Now let us try to learn the examples of what we have learned. So now you know what is a chemical change. Now what is an example for chemical change? That is what we will be learning. So in your textbook, in the same page where you are in page number 2, you can see a magnesium ribbon experiment. So this burning of magnesium is an example for chemical change, right? So now in this, can you see this activity in your book? So in this activity, you have to take a magnesium ribbon, scrub it with a sandpaper and burn it in the fire. Okay, that's the picture that is given here. You have to hold the magnesium ribbon with tongs and you will burn it in the flame. So what is that you will observe when you do that? So before you do this experiment, it's given here. Can you see this? Clean a magnesium ribbon about 2 centimeter long by rubbing it with sandpaper. Can you see this? What I just told? Now my question is, why should you clean it with sandpaper? And this explanation is not given in your textbook, but still it is asked in the questions. So you should know why you need to clean the magnesium ribbon with a sandpaper. So when you take this magnesium ribbon, when you keep it outside, so what is happening with that magnesium ribbon? It will it will act or react with the atmospheric oxygen, and it will form a layer of oxide around it. Okay, so this magnesium oxide, when you burn it in the fire, you will not find the perfect result. You will not see the perfect burning of that magnesium. So before you burn that magnesium ribbon, you have to clean it with a sandpaper. So when you rub it, clean it with a sandpaper, you are removing a layer of magnesium oxide on the magnesium ribbon, so that a pure form of magnesium is available now. So this magnesium, you will burn it with a fire. So what will, now here you can make a note here. Anyway, this question is asked in the blue box. When I give you the answers for that blue box, you can write that. Okay, but keep it underlined so that you will know that here a hint, there's a hint that from this part you can expect a question. Okay, now check out here. Can you see this? So what is happening here? What is happening here? So this is an experiment. So here in the tongs, you're holding a magnesium and you're burning it with a fire. So can you see the result in the next picture here? What is actually the result? You are finding a nice dazzling flame. So have you seen this kind of dazzling flame elsewhere? Yes, you have seen it during the time of Diwali. The crackers or that cracker stick, what you have, that sparkle sticks, it will give you such kind of dazzling flame. So in that sparkling stick, magnesium is also one of the component. Okay, so this is the characteristic features of magnesium ribbon. Now check out this table again. So here, what do you observe? So what will you write here? What do you observe? What did you observe when you did this activity? You observe a dazzling white flame, correct? Now make sure that you're making a point of it. Magnesium burns with a dazzling white flame. Magnesium burns with a dazzling white flame. Did you write that in your textbook now? Yes? Now this is a first example for a chemical change. How can you tell that burning of a magnesium ribbon is a chemical change? You can tell that this is a chemical change because what was the reactant that we took? We took magnesium ribbon as a reactant. So what is the product that we got? We got ashes as the product. So when you burn a magnesium ribbon, can you see here in the plate what is being collected? are being collected. That ash is nothing but magnesium oxide. So can you convert this magnesium oxide into magnesium ribbon again? No, you cannot reverse this reaction. Therefore, it is called as a chemical change. Now, the same chemical change can be represented in the form of chemical equation. How can you represent? You just have to write the reactants in the form of chemical symbols. So what are the reactants that we took? We took magnesium, that is Mg, and that magnesium was burned in presence of oxygen. So magnesium plus oxygen is giving you magnesium oxide. This is the chemical reaction of the chemical change that we discussed now, correct? Now, do you think that this equation is balanced? So what should you do to balance this equation? See, here you have two oxygens. So you have to make here also two oxygen. Correct? And similarly, magnesium became 2. So if you add 1, 2 here, it's balanced. Right? Now let us see the next activity in your textbook. Just flip the page, page number 2. Here you have activity 1.2. Just check out this, and this also, they have just given the activity in the book. But this question was asked in the previous year board paper. In CBSE board paper it was asked, but answers were not given in the textbook. So listen carefully and make sure that you are making a note in your textbook. And don't tell me that you are trying to make note in the tuition book or in the school book. No, don't use notebook for this. Whatever important things that I give you while I'm explaining, make sure that you are jotting down in the textbook only. Don't try to write anywhere else, because when you are using some other notebook, there are possibilities that you will lose it, or that notebook will get over, and again you will start with a new notebook and old notebook will be lost somewhere. You will not even know where it is. So don't try to make these mistakes. Whatever important points that I'm telling you while I'm explaining, make sure that you are using textbook to write down. Okay? And whatever notes that I have to give you, I will definitely give you while I'm dictating. I'll tell you what to write where. So now make sure that you're writing in the textbook. Check out this activity 1.2. You're taking lead nitrate solution in a test tube. You are adding potassium iodide solution to this. What do you observe? This activity is quite simple. Check this now. Can you see two transparent solutions that is shown here? So one of them is lead nitrate, another one is potassium iodide. So lead nitrate and potassium iodide both are transparent solutions. Okay, they have no color in them. Two transparent solutions. So when you mix this both transparent solution, check what is happening. What are you getting here? Here you're getting a yellow color precipitate. Okay, the observation for this is yellow color precipitate. So what is that you will write down near the box, activity 1.2 there? Yellow precipitate is obtained. That's what you will write. And now you know that this is a chemical change because reactants were transparent in nature, but the product that you got is yellow color. And the yellow color solution or precipitate that you have got, you cannot reverse them back into transparent solutions of potassium iodide and lead nitrate. Since you cannot revert them back, it is called as a chemical change. Okay, now how will you express this chemical change into a chemical equation? Check out the reactants. Now you will only tell me, how will you, what is that you are getting? Lead nitrate. What is the formula for lead nitrate? Chemical formula. Lead is Pb, nitrate is NO3, valency of lead is 2. Okay, and valency of nitrate is 1. So therefore it will be PbNO3 twice. Plus what else? Potassium iodide, Ki. What are the products obtained? Now I'll give you a hint here. This is a displacement reaction. So in displacement reaction, the ions will get exchanged. Now check out this. Here you have iodide as one ion. Here you have NO3 2 minus as another ion. I'll change the color so that it will be more prominent. Now what you have to do is, you just have to exchange these people with each other. Then that is the reactants. And the products that you will obtain is when you exchange the reactants. So what is that you should get now? You will get Pb as is Now nitrate has gone that side. Therefore, you will get PbI2 because valency of lead is 2, valency of iodine is 1. Plus, what is the other reactant that we have? We have potassium nitrate, KNO3. Okay. Now, is it balanced? What should you do to balance it? Lead is 1, iodine is 2. So you will add a 2 here. And in order to get this balance, you will add 2 here. So this is a balanced form of reaction. PbNO3 twice plus 2Ki will give you PbI2 plus 2KNO3. This is the balanced form of reaction. Anyway, I will show it here also. Hope you understood activity 1.2. Check this here. So above activity 1.2, you will just write what you understood. So you got a yellow PPT. So yellow PPT is obtained or yellow PPT is formed. That is the observation. And what is the chemical reaction or what is the chemical equation? It's written above here. PbNO3 twice plus 2Ki plus 2KNO3 plus PbI2. That is the equation that I've written on the board also. Hope you have understood these two activities. Now, before we go on to the next activity,